How's it going, everyone? Welcome to DoublePebble. Today we are going to be looking at one of the new players that is introduced together with the World Legends. Okay, so I'm talking about CP Patrick Vieira. Arsenal fans are in for a treat because this is one of the true Arsenal legends during the golden era, of the Arsene Wenger reign, whereby he was winning things left, right and center together with Henry, Petit. I know that team very well. They were having a lot of close fights with my Man United, but then again, ultimately United came out on top, so good luck to Arsenal fans. Let's look at the stats of CP Vieira now. The first thing that I like about Vieira is that he is super tall, 192 cm, and if you go to the mobile and check, right, he is of skinny build, which all of you should know. I really like skinny builds because those players are generally much more mobile. So Vieira has got good strength, 91, good stamina. His pace is not very fast. Generally CDMs are not that fast. 82 sprint, 79 acceleration. His jump is 80, which is okay because he is super tall already. Agility is quite low. Of course, that is also not very important for CDM. And then his balance is 78. That might be a little bit of a concern because you don't want him to fall down as soon as people start touching him, okay? His sliding tackle is 83. Dribble is not that good, but his ball control is very good. That is very, very important for a CDM. The ball control has to be very good. Good tackling and marking as well. I would say 88, 85. His short and long passing are very good as well, 90, 87, so that's also a good tool to have when your CDM can pass the ball very well. For those who have used players like PK or David Luiz in CDM, you will find, the problem with his ball control, with their lack of passing skills. Sometimes it really can hinder your team's attacking play, alright? His heading is also very good. Generally, if you are talking about defensive header, it's not so important, but in the event that you send him up for corners, or if he ends up in the attacking penalty box, then these heading stats will come in very handy. The next thing that is good about him is his vision and his aggression. His aggression is crazy, 91 aggression, so that's very good as well. Another thing that I want to talk about is the interception, 85. Interception is very important for CDM, so 85 I would say is passable. By the way, he's a perfect player. He's a midfield master, goal master, defending master. Basically, he can do anything. And surprise, surprise, he's a playmaker, dribble master, tackle master, that's important, area control, tanker, he's a finisher as well, okay, and he's a tactician, so got a lot of styles to be honest. And his work rate is quite good as well, mid-high. Generally, you don't get many high defensive work rate CDM, so this one is good as well. Although his trait of injury prone might be a concern, but I think most players do not get injured in this engine lah. Next is price. Very expensive. Started off at 600 million when he first came up. Now it's tapered off to about 350 million. It's still quite steep to be honest for a +1 player. And we will go into the in-game analysis and see whether he is worth this price. Okay, so in terms of the in-game performance, first thing is his size. It is so good to have a CDM of such huge size on the pitch because first of all, he can put himself about. His long legs are useful, and because of his height, he is going to be winning a lot of aerial battles, and that is very important for CDMs because if you have the opponent that likes to take like direct goal kicks straight down the field, right, and most of the time the goal kick will stop somewhere around the CDM, and if your CDM loses that header, most of the time it leads to a counter attack straight away, so that is very dangerous. Generally, I like my CDM to win the first header because that is so important. He's a very good tackler as well. I mean, his tackling stats is so high, and if you look at his legs, he's got crazy long legs that girls will be proud of. His legs make it such that he can hook the ball when he goes to the wrong direction, come back, hook the ball, or even if he's behind the opposition, he can still somehow wrap his leg around the opponent and nick the ball away, so that is very, very useful. His strength is super high as well, 91 strength, which means that it is not very easy for him to be displaced. In fact, when I'm using him, I find that he's so dependable on the ball. When he takes the ball, he can really protect and shield the ball very well. Doesn't really get pushed off the ball at all. Ball control is so important for a CDM, like I said just now. If your CDM loses the ball easily, or he miscontrols the ball, or he can't twist and turn at important moments, I'm not gonna say he needs to twist and turn like Messi lah, but he needs to be able to turn away from opposition markers. If he can't do that, right, then he gets tackled, and most of the time, as soon as your CDM loses the ball, you are likely going to concede a goal, or at least opponents will get a nice free shot on goal. So you want to make sure your CDM do not concede possession easily. And if you have used someone like maybe Thiago Silva or David Luiz or PK, these sort of defenders in a CDM, sometimes you will find their limitation whereby they cannot handle the ball very well. You try to twist and turn, they get dispossessed. You try to pass, they pass all over the place. So sometimes these sort of small little details will make the difference between you scoring a goal and you conceding a goal. Last strength I want to talk about is his aggressiveness. So I like players that are aggressive on the pitch. Players like Vidic, David Luiz. These are the players that when they go into the tackle, they will just go in really hard, really strong, and they just push the opponent away. That is so important in a defender, you know, be it a defender or a defensive midfielder. They have to be aggressive to win the ball. But if you put someone who is not so aggressive like Xabi Alonso, he can tackle definitely, but then he will also get out muscle sometimes because he's just not that hardy. It's a bit of a softy kind of thing. So in that sense, Vieira has got no problem like that. He is the one pushing people about, banging, crashing into people. He is honestly a midfield general. In terms of weakness, there's not a lot. In fact, there's only one that I'm going to point out, and it's a bit of a nitpicking, is that his slight lack of pace lah. Okay, he is not the fastest player on the pitch. So if you are those players that are obsessed with sprint, then maybe he is not the one for you. But generally for me, CDMs do not need to be very fast, because most of the time what is important is their positioning. They need to be at the right place at the right time. You don't really need them to outsprint players. So I have not been caught out for pace when I use Vieira, okay, throughout the 6 or 7 games that I use him. So I don't think that's a big problem. So overall, to be honest, okay, Vieira deserves a 10 out of 10 for a CDM. I know I've given a lot of 10 out of 10s, Fat Ronaldo, Cristiano Ronaldo, but if you talk about players individually, you know, Vieira has got no weakness as a CDM. He's almost the complete midfield package. So he deserves a 10 out of 10, okay? Of course, if you remove the world legend Vieira out of the equation, for our server at least, CP Vieira is currently the best CDM available in our server. Definitely, every single stats is better than our Tots Matic, whom I always said was the CDM last time round. But I think CP Vieira has overtook him and he is now the best, okay? In terms of is he worth it, to be honest, at 380 million, it's very expensive for a CDM. I mean, it's just a +1, and generally we would prefer to use at least a +2 for the upgraded color, and a +2 is like what, 800 million. If you compare the stats between Vieira +1 or +2 with maybe a Tots Matic +5, you will find that they are almost the same in terms of stats. So I think the Tots Matic +5 will be slightly cheaper. So there is no reason why you want to go for Vieira, unless of course you can afford it. Then yes, go for Vieira because he's the best. Okay, if you're concerned with getting the best and you have the means to get it, then go for Vieira, because for me, he's just a bit too expensive. I would stick to Matic. Matic would do the job just fine. He's a good tackler. He's tall, he's strong, so he's good enough for me already. Alright, and that is all I have for this review videos. I hope you guys enjoy it, find this helpful. I'll be reviewing the new CP players for the next few weeks, alright? So give this video a thumbs up, okay, if you want to see more FO3 review videos. And don't forget to subscribe if you have not done so. Let's move towards 5,000 subscribers. Go to our Facebook fan page as well, give it a like as well. We try to reach 5,000 likes on our Facebook fan page, and I'll see you next time.